Hello everyone. As you may have noticed, right about now is pretty much this season of read-a-thons, as it's not summer here, it's actually winter in Australia, but over in America where a lot of booktubers are, it's summer, so it's great for read-a-thons. And the Booktube-A-Thon, which is probably the most well-known read-a-thon, is coming up. It goes from the 18th of July to the 24th of July, and it's hosted by Ariel from Ariel Bissett. I'll link all the information down below. And I thought, why not give it a try, because I haven't really tried read-a-thons much before, but everyone loves Booktube-A-Thons, so I thought, seeing as I have a channel now, I didn't last year when it was on, why not join in on all that fun? So Ariel released a video recently about the challenges, the reading challenges for the Booktube-A-Thon, and I've tried to line all the books in my TBR to these reading challenges. Even though I'm not likely to get through my entire TBR, I never really read that fast, but I'm gonna give it a try anyway, so it doesn't matter how much I read as long as I read something. Let's get started on my TBR. The first book I have on my TBR is The Great Gatsby. Yes, I have a huge, massive edition, but I also have an ebook copy, so I can have it handy when I'm going around out places. But when I'm at home, I got this copy really cheap for like $10 in a bookshop like a week ago, and it's so good. It's like a great edition with pictures and illustrations all through, and it gives you also information about what life was like during the 1920s when this book was set. And I bought this copy, and seeing as it's short, it'll be a good read for the Booktube-A-Thon. It also counts for 2 challenges. The first challenge that this counts for is that challenge to read a book that is older than you, and obviously being a classic written in, I'm pretty sure, the 1920s, or maybe a bit later, I'm not sure, but I do know that this book is older than me because I'm 18, and so obviously this book was written more than 18 years ago, so that counts for that challenge. And it also counts for the read and watch a book to movie adaptation, and as you most probably know, there is a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio in it of The Great Gatsby, and I haven't seen that yet, so when I finish this I can watch that and count that to my reading challenges for the Booktube-A-Thon. So yay! The second book that's on my TBR for the Booktube-A-Thon is I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak. Did I say the title for The Great Gatsby? The Great Gatsby is by... Who's The Great Gatsby? Oh no, I don't know who The Great Gatsby is by. I swear I do, I just can't remember. Give me a second. Sorry, so by the way, The Great Gatsby is written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, in case you didn't know, like me, because apparently I don't know who writes classics anymore. So as I was saying, the second book that I'm planning on reading for the Booktube-A-Thon is I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak. This counts to the yellow on the cover challenge, because one of the challenges is to read a book with yellow on the cover, and this has kind of yellow on the cover, and it also has some yellow on the spine, so this counts for the read a book with yellow on the cover. And also, it doesn't seem very long, the font's pretty big, it shouldn't really take me that long to read, and I've been kind of wanting to read it for a while, so why not read it for the Booktube-A-Thon? So the next book that I'm going to read for the Booktube-A-Thon is Happily Ever After by Kira Cass. This book is short stories, and I'm not planning on reading the entire, all of the short stories, because I've already read most of them, but there's these one or two at the back that I haven't read yet, and I thought, seeing as they're really short, I can easily read them during the Booktube-A-Thon, so that's what I'm planning on doing. And it also counts for 2 challenges. It counts for the read a book by one of your favourite authors challenge, because Kira Cass is one of my favourite authors, and it also counts for the read a book only after sunset challenge. I think that challenge is so interesting and creative, and I'm so excited. And I thought, seeing as I'm only planning on reading 1 or 2 short stories. I could easily read that one night after sunset, and seeing as it's winter here, the sunset's a bit earlier over in Australia at the moment, so it gives me more time to read this after sunset. So yeah, I'm planning on reading this. The next book that I have on my TBR for the Booktube-A-Thon is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. Honestly, this could count to the Read a Book by One of Your Favourite Authors challenges as well, because Morgan Matson is now one of my new favourite authors. I'm counting this for the Read a Book You Discovered Through Booktube challenge, because before I started watching Booktube videos, I never would have really heard of this book. Not really found in many bookshops that I've seen in Australia at the moment, so I found out about Morgan Matson and all of her books through Booktube, and I thought, seeing as I really want to read this and I haven't read it yet and I've been really wanting to, and even though it's like 500-ish pages, her books are always really easy to read and you can get through them pretty quickly, so I thought, why not add this to my TBR for the Booktube-A-Thon. These last 3 books on my TBR don't really count separately to all my challenges, and I'm not very likely to be able to get to them, because by the time I finish those other books that I've already mentioned, the week is most likely going to be over before I finish them. But the last reading challenge is to read a total of 7 books throughout the week, so I thought, why not add 7 books to my TBR, and even though I may not get to them, but just in case I do. It's highly unlikely, but in case it happens. So the next book I have on my TBR is One by Sarah Crossan, I think that's how you say it, and this book should be really pretty quick and easy to read because it's written in verse, so it looks pretty thick, but the entire thing, there's like only a few sentences on each page, so if I do happen to get to this, I should really be able to read it pretty quickly, so I can add this to my TBR. Good for Booktube-A-Thon week. I'm also including Wonder by R.J. Palacio, I think that's how you say his last name, but it's also pretty quick. It's really short and should be pretty quick to read, but it's not too dense or anything, so I thought, why not add this to my TBR. And also I've been meaning to read this for a really long time, so I'm adding it to my TBR. And lastly, the final book that I'm including on my TBR, extremely unlikely, not likely at all to get to this book, but to include 7 books in case I have them on my TBR, I'm also putting Demigods and Magicians by Rick Riordan onto my TBR. This is short stories, not likely to read all of them, but I can at least try to read 1 or 2 short stories if I get to it, and it's pretty short, and Rick Riordan's books are always so much fun, so they're great for that end of the week, like when you get to the end of the week and you're like done with reading but you still want to keep going because it's the Booktube-A-Thon, and his books are always so fun and they're always great to read, so adding this to my TBR. So that's it for my TBR for the Booktube-A-Thon. Hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you're planning on doing the Booktube-A-Thon, and if you are, what books are on your TBR. Subscribe if you want, and yeah, that's it for today. Bye!